Pekudei, accounts. Exodus 38:21. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted according to the commandment of Moshe, for the service of the Leviim, by the hand of Ithamar, son to Aharon the priest, and Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hori, of the tribe of Yahudah, made et all that Yahuah commanded Moshe. And with him was Oholiab, son of Achisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, and a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue, and in purple, and in scarlet, and fine linen. All the gold that was occupied for the work in all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 29 talents, and 730 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of them that were numbered of the assembly was 100 talents, and 1,760 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. A beka for every man, that is half a shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for every one that went to be numbered, from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 3,550 men. And of the 100 talents of silver were cast at the sockets of the sanctuary, and at the sockets of the veil, 100 sockets of the 100 talents, a talent for a socket. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their chapiters, and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and at the brazen altar, and the brazen grate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court gate, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. Chapter 39. And of the blue, and purple, and scarlet, they made cloths of service, to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aharon, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And they did beat the gold into thin plates, and cut it into wires, to work it in the blue, and in the purple, and in the scarlet, and in the fine linen with cunning work. They made shoulder pieces for it, to couple it together. By the two edges was it coupled together. And the belt of his ephod that was upon it was of the same according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And they wrought onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets are graven, with the names of the children of Yashar'el. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Yashar'el, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he made the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. It was 4 square. They made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set in it 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This was the first row. And the second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, and an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Yashar'el, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, every one with his name, according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. And they made 2 ouches of gold, and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And at the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings, and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the forepart of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the belt of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the belt of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosed from the ephod, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. And there was a hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of a habergeon, with a band round about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and twined linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, round about the hem of the robe to minister in, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aharon and for his sons, and et a turban of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen, and a belt of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet of needlework, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing, like to the engravings of a signet, Kodesh la Yahuah. And they tied unto it a lace of blue, to fasten it on high upon the turban, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly finished. And the children of Yashar'el did according to all that Yahuah commanded Moshe, so did they. And they brought the tabernacle unto El Moshe, the tent, and all his furniture, his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets. And the covering of ram's skins dyed red, and the covering of antelope skins, and et the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure menorah, with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and et the oil for light, and et the golden altar, and et the anointing oil, and et the sweet incense, and et the hanging for the tabernacle door, et the brazen altar, and his grate of brass, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver and his foot, et the hangings of the court, his pillars and his sockets, and the hanging for the court gate, his cords and his pins, and et all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of the assembly, the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aharon the priest, and his sons' garments, to minister in the priest's office, according to all that Yahuah commanded Moshe. So the children of Yashar'el made et all the work. And Moshe did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as Yahuah had commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moshe blessed them. Chapter 40. And Yahuah spoke unto Moshe, saying, On the first day of the first month, shall you set up the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly. And you shall put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. And you shall bring in the menorah, and light the lamps thereof. And you shall set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hangings of the door to the tabernacle. And you shall set the altar of the ascending smoke offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly. And you shall set the laver between the tent of the assembly and the altar, and shall put water therein. And you shall set up the court round about, and hang up the hanging at the court gate. And you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and all that is therein, and shall hallow it, and all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. And you shall anoint the altar of the ascending smoke offering, and all his vessels, and sanctify the altar, and it shall be an altar most holy. And you shall anoint the laver and his foot, and sanctify it. And you shall bring Aharon and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and wash them with water. And you shall put upon Aharon the holy garments, and anoint him, and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall bring his sons, and clothe them with coats. And you shall anoint them, as you anointed their father, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. For their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moshe, according to all that Yahuah commanded him, so did he. And it came to pass in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up. And Moshe reared up the tabernacle, and fastened his sockets, and set up the boards thereof, and put in the bars thereof, and reared up his pillars. And he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacle, and put the covering of the tent above upon it, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he took and put the testimony into the ark, and set the staves on the ark, and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle, and set up the veil of the covering, and covered the ark of the testimony, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he put the table in the tent of the assembly, upon the side of the tabernacle northward, without the veil. And he set the bread in order upon it before Yahuah, as Yahuah had commanded Moshe. And he put the menorah in the tent of the assembly, over against the table, on the side of the tabernacle southward. And he lighted the lamps before Yahuah, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he put the golden altar in the tent of the assembly before the veil. And he burnt sweet incense thereon, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he set up the hanging at the door of the tabernacle. And he put the altar of the ascending smoke offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly, and offered upon it the ascending smoke offering and the oblation, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he set the laver between the tent of the assembly and the altar, and put water there to wash withal. And Moshe and Aharon and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat. When they went into the tent of the assembly, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed, as Yahuah commanded Moshe. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moshe finished the work. Then a cloud covered the tent of the assembly, and the glory of Yahuah filled the tabernacle. And Moshe was not able to enter into the tent of the assembly, because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of Yahuah filled the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Yashar'el went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Yahuah was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Yashar'el, throughout all their journeys.